Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the JT Effect. I'm your host, John F. Thomas, and this is episode 22. Actually, I have not been talking about this. This is over 20 episodes. I hit the 20 mark and I didn't acknowledge it. So I'm at episode 22 now. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. If you are watching this, please feel free to hit the like button, share this so that other people can see, because of what I'm going to be talking about are the concerns that I have leading up to this vaccine being put out, the rush of it being put out. And we're just going to talk. We're going to have a conversation. So for those who want to comment on this, please feel free to comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Again, hit that like button so that more people can see this. We need this video to get out. You will be supporting this show. You will be supporting this channel. And for those who are watching the channel, the Black Boss channel, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when these videos pop out, just like the people who are watching now. Thank you. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button. So I want to go ahead and touch on this topic because something happened to me recently. And I already had part one when I talked about, let me just catch you up. So when I was coming back from out of town, I think in episode 19 that I had of this episode, and for those who are, if you want to just stream this instead, or like listen to it on podcast, if you don't want to watch the video, I have it on podcast at JT Effect, Google, Apple, Spotify. You can listen to it anywhere. But anyway, so I was flying back from visiting my family in Tennessee, flying back to LA. And on my way back at the airport, I wasn't told prior to, but at the airport, I was notified that I couldn't come back into LA unless I signed this form acknowledging that I quarantined for, I think, about 7 days or something like that. So about a week. So I was just like, wait, what? So what'll happen? So what'll happen if I don't sign this form? So I looked online and it was saying that if you don't sign the form, you could be faced with a fine up to $300. So I could be charged $300 for not signing this form. And the crazy thing is we are in a pandemic. We are currently in a pandemic and people aren't able to go to work. I see you. I call them a B1. Type B1 if you're in this. If you understand this is for this message, we are Black first before anything else. B1. You understand the Black community. And the crazy thing was, I was kind of felt like I was being forced, and it wasn't mandatory. I didn't have to mandatorily sign this paperwork, but if I don't sign it, there's a consequence. I will be charged $300. I will be fined $300. And again, we're in a pandemic. This pandemic is affecting people to where they don't have jobs. They can't go to work, and there is no relief from the government. The government isn't giving us any kind of relief. So they gave us that one stimulus check, one check for $1,500. We haven't gotten a check since. We haven't gotten any kind of relief since. So if I am not able to go to work and there's no money coming in, I only had that one check and I still have to pay rent. I still have to pay bills. I still have to feed myself. I'm hungry. I'm going to die if I don't eat. You know, I still have to gas up my car if I need to travel. All of these things that require money. And those in power haven't been protecting us, haven't been looking out for us. So, and I'm being charged for $300. There's no program in place to be like, hey, if you were charged, we're going to help take care of you for that. No, that's not happening. You are going to be charged $300. And so I was just like, well, at this point, I kind of have no choice, but to sign this form, or I will be met with this fine. $300 fine of $300 that I really don't have to give like that. So I signed the form. All right. Sign the form just so I can arrive in LA and acknowledge that, oh, yes, I need to. And it's like soft pressure, right? It's not. And a lot of people, I think somebody reached out to me before and just like, well, it's not mandatory because, they're not going to force you to take it. And it doesn't matter if they force you to take it. They're going to be sneaky with it. They're going to come up with other kind of ways. And just like, remember, okay, I know it's an extreme example, but remember when the Holocaust was going on, it ain't like they just went out and just started yanking people out. Like, oh, of course, they're just not going to yank people out, yank the Jewish people out and just throw them in these camps. That'll never happen. No, it's a slippery slope. They went about it in subtle ways. They're like, okay, so you're a Jew. Okay, we need to know that you're a Jew. So you're going to wear this star. It's nothing serious. You're just going to wear a star, right? We just need to know that you are a Jew. There's no big deal. What, do you have something to hide? No, okay, then wear the star. No big deal, right? Okay, time went on. And it's like, okay, we need you to have some papers or whatever the case may be, so that way we can know who you really are and by the star and all this other stuff. And then once they got to that point, it's like, okay, we're going to wrangle up all these people. We know you're a Jew because you're wearing a star. So we taking them to the concentration camps, And all of a sudden, how do we get to this point? How could this happen? Oh my God, I can't believe this actually happened and blah, 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 because they tricked you. They came and said, oh, it's no big deal. We're just going to do this little thing. It's nothing. It's nothing. What are you stressing about? What do you have to hide? You have nothing to hide, then do it. Until it gets to the point of where now, if you don't do it, we are going to put this gun to your head. We will kill you if you don't follow this new law that we put in place. Even though your freedoms, your rights are not yours anymore. That's the subtle, slick way of them going about doing that. And so so that's what happened to me when I was coming back in from LA. They told us that, hey, LA is making this to where you need to sign this form. It's not mandatory. You don't have to sign the form. But if you don't sign the form, you're getting charged $300. Huh? What? So I was like, all right, I'll sign the form for $300, even though it's not mandatory, but I'm getting fined. Okay, so fast forward to now. This is why I titled this part 2. Something happened to me recently. And one of my jobs, I can go into work. I had to sit out for that week because they were like, we need to acknowledge, at least sit out for a week and then you come into work. Okay, I did that week. I lost a week's, in a sense, worth of pay. But I had sick days, so I was able to use that. Anyway, I went into work, but my other job, which I also, because they said we need you to sit out for about 7 days, for a week, and then you come in. All right, cool. So I was able to go to my one job, right? So my other job that I have is just the extra supplement income. They told me, like, well, I know, okay, Sunday is coming up, and I know this is happening right now, but and you did the quarantine, but actually let's do this other day. You just sit out for one more week, just so we can just really make sure. So I was like, okay, all right. So I've already missed, because I was out of town that week, right? I missed a week of pay because I went out of town. Then just to miss another week of pay when I came back, because they were like, oh, we want you to quarantine for 7 days. All right, cool. So I understood I was gonna miss 2 weeks of pay. And then he was like, okay, just one more, just so we can be safe. It's 3 weeks of pay. 3 weeks of pay. One of the weeks I already knew because I was going out of town, right? I already knew I planned for that. But now this is 2 weeks of pay that I'm missing on top of that. So it's 3 weeks now, 3 weeks of pay that I'm missing because of this. So it went on to recently, because I had to come in, I had something to do. I mean, I was going to speak at this job, and they were like, hey, okay, well, how about you just, record your speech and you still sit out. Have you been tested yet? And I'm just like, well, no, because I quarantined for, in a sense, well beyond, the amount that I needed to quarantine for. I said, I don't have any symptoms. I don't have a high temperature. I don't have any chills. I haven't coughed. I haven't any of the stuff that just typical symptoms of the COVID-19 virus. I don't have those symptoms. But he was just like, okay, well, how about this? How about okay, you just sit out, you record your thing, and you can send that in, and from there we'll just go ahead and we'll just have you test. How about you go take the test, so that way we can have the hard proof that is negative, the hard negative, and then you can come in. So I was, okay, all right, okay, I'll go ahead and get that test, so that way you can have their proof, because this is his company. He can do whatever he wants to do with it. I don't run anything there. I acknowledge that, and I understand it. All right, fine. But as I was thinking about it, even then, I was just like, man, it is very frustrating, because it's like, now you're forcing me to go do this thing, and I've already took all the precautions on my end, and I get it. I mean, it's not like it's really that big of a stretch, but that's the slippery slope, because I've already did what was required, a little bit beyond what was required, because you asked me for another week. Now I need to take a test in order to come back in physically, and it's like that's in a sense, this is my a month of missing pay now. Of payment that I cannot receive. I already planned for that 1 week, but 3 weeks on top of that of pay that I'm missing, because now I have to go in and take a test, and I have to take that test in order to have that hard evidence that I'm negative, even though I have no symptoms. He was like, well, you might be asymptomatic, but I'm sitting there thinking, if I sat within this time frame, even if I did have it, it should be gone, right? Because if you wait during this time period, they say there's that time period. If you wait, then you will not be able to pass this on, because it should have passed by now. If I'm asymptomatic, fine. All right, I took the test prior to me going out of town to see my family, because I didn't want to, get my family sick, because I really didn't know, and I only have two parents, so it's just like, I can't get replacement parents. So let me go ahead and get that test. I already got the test to prove I'm negative. Now I have to get another test, which I know some people are like, well, it's not that big of a deal. I'll tell you why it's a big deal. Because I'm already seeing this slippery slope. And again, for everybody that's tuning in, before I continue on, make sure you hit this like button so people can see it. Hit the like button and share this message, because more people need to see this. And subscribe to the Black Boss channel if you haven't, because we have more videos will be coming out like this, and you'll be notified of that, and you'll be supporting Black media. I appreciate that. So, and the reason why I had a problem with this is because I was sitting there thinking, like, okay, so what will happen if I'm in a sense, and I'm not being forced to do this, but I'm being put into a corner, right? I'm being backed into a corner, to where it's just like, if you don't do this, you can't come in. Just go get the test so we can see that hard negative. But it's like, but I already did what you asked, and beyond what you asked. Now you want more. You want more hardcore proof. All right, fine. But when it gets to the point that when this vaccine comes out, what will happen at that point? Well, hey, John, did you get the vaccination? No, I didn't get the vaccination. I don't really trust that vaccination that's been rushed up. Yeah, I understand, but all of us have gotten vaccinated, so I just really need you to get vaccinated, and then you can come in. So how about you sit at home for the time being, and then once you get vaccinated, you can come in and work, because that can happen. That can happen. Remember what I said before, because I know some people, oh, well, that's a stretch. They're not gonna. It's not mandatory. It doesn't have to be mandatory. They'll come up with other ways to slightly apply more pressure, until you have no choice now. Because remember what I said in the previous video about this, to where it's like they might give out a card or something if you've been vaccinated. Maybe there's a card you can show. Oh, can I see? Where's the orange card? Oh, my orange card. Here it is. It shows I've been vaccinated. Okay, you can come into the grocery store. Oh, ma'am, have you been vaccinated? Do you have your orange card? No, I haven't. I'm sorry, you can't. It's our policy now. You have to get vaccinated to come get groceries. You have to get vaccinated to come back to work. It can happen. In a sense, it's already a soft test being applied to me in this situation, where it's just like, yeah, I mean, I know you've been quarantining and you haven't had any symptoms, and he knows me. It's not like he doesn't. Me and this person, we're close. He knows me not to lie. I wouldn't lie about anything like that. So I don't have any symptoms. I haven't been coughing or anything. But he's still just like, just go get that test. Go get the test so we can have the hard proof that you're negative. And that's scary. That's really scary. Actually, I want to show you guys a video recently. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there is a video of Dr. Fauci, and he was on the show talking about this vaccine. So I'm going to play this again for everybody that's tuning in. Please hit the like button so that more people can see this. So I'm going to show you this video, and here we go. All right, I believe it's sharing.
Is that the vaccine that you're going to be taking was developed by an African-American woman. And that is just a fact. I mean, that is a fact. And I think that's some of the things that people don't fully appreciate. to say to my African American brothers and sisters is that the vaccine that you're going to.
All right, so we have that video. To all my African American brothers and sisters. So we're what? why did you just say to the black people? Why do you have to? You know, it almost reminds me of, like, you know, Bill Clinton when he came with the saxophone on the Arsenio Hall show. Hey, let me play this. What's up, black people? Oh, you didn't know I could play. You know, or even Hillary Clinton when she came on the Breakfast Club. Yeah, I got hot sauce in my bag. Nobody asked you about having hot sauce in your bag. Who said to do that? Who told you to do that? Fire them. They should be fired. Don't pander to me. Just keep it real. Talk to me like a real person. But that just shows how stupid they think we are. And yeah, and exactly. They are forcing you in other ways, in subtle ways. It's not going to be mandatory, but they're going to be like, hey, if you want access to here, you have to have this. You have to get vaccinated, is what I'm potentially seeing what's going to happen. And I don't trust it. I really don't trust it. And as most of you can see on here, with what he said, that's BS. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Oh, just because a woman created this, a black woman created this vaccine. Oh, you sure right? I should trust it. I'm so, wow. I thought a white person made this vaccine. You know, I feel so much better now. Yeah, give me the vaccine. A sister made it, right? All right. Black brothers and sisters. All right. See, you know, Dr. Fauci, he's down with the brown because he said black brothers and sisters. See, and it's just like, come on, man. Come on, stop. But that thing that happened to me, that can potentially happen to anybody else. So that's why I wanted to come and tell you of what's happening to me, the situation that I'm currently in, to where I'm being pushed to go get tested. You know, like I said, it's not mandatory. It's a soft push to go get tested. And later on, that could transfer over to like, hey, okay, you can't really come in unless you're vaccinated. And then what? Because that's money that I don't have anymore now. I'm blocked from taking care of myself. If, like some of you have families, you're blocked from taking care of your families. So this is what I will definitely charge to a lot of us, that we need to push back against our congressmen, our congresswomen, the people in power, and let them know that we are not okay with this. You cannot, I don't want any kind of subtle push. I don't want any kind of, oh, mandatory, you can't do this, you can't do that. You are infringing on my freedoms. I don't trust this vaccine. And we know the history. We know the history of how they constantly, and they want to test us first. I mean, because on one hand, with science, you do kind of want to know, because we are exposed to a lot of horrible things in comparison to the white community. We live in neighborhoods where they dump all kind of toxic chemicals in our neighborhoods. You know, we get the same toxic chemicals that they're dumping into our neighborhoods. The cows and the farmland, they are absorbing all of that. The seeds, all of it is absorbing these chemicals, and that milk that the cows are producing is being put into our stores, put into our grocery stores, and we are absorbing all of these tainted drinks, foods, etc. We're getting all of that. So yeah, so we are going to be affected differently, but at the same time, you go test other people first. We're not your guinea pigs. I am not your guinea pig. The black community is not your guinea pig. With the amount of hell that we've been through for 400 plus years now, and you just want us to trust you? Just trust the government. Trust the government. How many of you right now that are watching? Put in the comments if you trust the government, because if you do, I don't know, maybe because I don't want to assume, because that'll make an ass out of you and me. I don't want to assume that you don't trust the government. I know I don't, just because historically I don't trust the government. So let me know in the comments if you do trust the government. But I trust the government. If you don't trust the government, I don't trust the government. I don't want to necessarily speak for you You have your own mind there. I'm just here to help give you this information of what's going on and potentially warn you of what may happen with you, just so we can be aware of what's going on and what's happening. Because if you're not aware, if you're not paying attention, all of this stuff can just be happening to you, and we're all, just going up shit's creek. And so, like Green said, the Texas sports and take don't work that easy now. I mean, I completely understand, but like I'm from the South. I'm from Tennessee, and I'm kind of the same way. But with LA is really expensive, so I have to, you have to damn near work multiple jobs in order to make some stuff happen. So we have some comments coming in. Negative, hell no, zero trust. So far, that's majority of the people that are watching this. That's all of the people so far are watching this that have commented. They don't trust the government. I don't trust the government. The Tuskegee experiments. There's that. If for those who are watching and don't know, and I know some people on the podcast, so I do have other people outside of the Black community who are listening to this. For those who are watching and listening and don't know, the Tuskegee experiments is something they don't really talk about. It's an experiment where there were Black people who had different, like herpes and different sexually transmitted diseases. So what they did, what the government did, they said, hey, look, we want you to come in. We're going to be running these tests, and we're going to see if we can make some things better for you. Make the herpes that you have. We're going to be studying it and looking at it and see if we can improve it and make it go away, and at least make it to where it doesn't hurt as bad. So all these Black people, they went in and, hey, we'll pay you for it. We'll pay you to take the things that for us to test you and for us to give you these medicines. So the Black people went in that area, and they went in to trust our government, the government who was supposed to protect and help you, trusted them, and they were given placebos. So nothing was really happening. They thought that, oh, we were being healed, we're being treated, we're being, worked on, the things would be better. And they went back out into their neighborhood, not knowing that they're just being looked at, they're just being analyzed. Nothing is happening for them to become better, for them to them to be healed of their issues. And they're going out and potentially passing this disease on to other people because they thought that, oh, the government has my back. The government is helping me. And they're also going home thinking that I shouldn't be in that much pain. Oh man, I'm in pain, but they gave me this pill, so I guess I shouldn't be. It's probably less pain than I had. It was a placebo. They were lying to them. So I'm looking at all of this and all of the stuff that they're doing. Actually, I want to play y'all something else from this same video. I want to give you, actually, I'm going to drop in the link if you want to watch the video in its entirety. I will drop this link in. What I'm about to show you. I'm not going to show you the entire thing, but this link, you can watch it on your own time. But I'm going to play a slight clip of what Dr. Fauci is saying when he's talking to these gentlemen on this show. Let me see here. All right, here we go.
Why should Black people trust this process?
Well, Ambrose, I think the first thing that we need to appreciate, those of us who are trying to convince our African-American brothers and sisters to trust the process, because it's ultimately to the benefit of the life and safety of the individuals as well as your families and your entire community, is that to first understand the reasons and empathize with the reasons for the mistrust, as opposed to pushing back against the mistrust. And one of the ways that I try to do it is to try and dissect out not the fundamental core of the distrust, but take the particular situation you're dealing with now and say, let's try and start off on an even footing. What are the reasons for this particular situation, namely the vaccine, that you have reluctance and skepticism about getting vaccinated? And I think there are two major issues that when I explain them to my friends and colleagues and people who I don't know, in the African American community and the community of people of color is that the speed with which this was done. Isn't there something reckless about that? Well, the first thing is to point out that the speed has nothing to do with compromising safety or scientific integrity. It's due to the extraordinary and exquisite advances in vaccine platform technology.
Okay, so I want to stop there and speak on that. I call BS. I call BS because, of course, that's what they want to say, right? No, there's nothing wrong with the speed. You're talking about how fast it's going. There's nothing wrong with the speed. We are putting all of our top scientists all across the world on top of this, and it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. I was listening to NPR the other day, and they were saying that the host was talking to a doctor, Mr. Dr. Wong or whatever. And he was saying that, hey, so these are some concerns. Some people are saying that this might be going too fast. And what about some of the side effects that people are having? And they were saying that, and he kept saying, he's like, well, yeah, I mean, there are some side, but this is a really dangerous disease. It's affecting a lot of people. The world is shut down. We need to get back to a normal. So this needs to come out. So he didn't really answer the question. And so the host tried again. I think it was Larry Mantle. Larry Mantle was saying, he's like, well, I have a friend who works with he's an ER doctor, and he's saying that he himself, an ER doctor, and they don't talk to a lot of these people. There are a lot of doctors and nurses who feel this way. He said he doesn't trust this vaccine and the speed at which it's coming. And he was saying, when he mentioned that, the Dr. Wong, if that's his name, he was saying, well, yeah, I understand there's a lot of mistrust, and that's due to the false media, and media was coming in, with Trump and all of that. So he just kind of dismissed it. And eventually he came to say, yeah, I mean, if there are some side effects, that's just a cost that we will have to take in order to get people vaccinated and well. So basically, and he kept trying to go to make it seem as though he wasn't really, he didn't say what he just said. But if you paid attention and if you really listen to what he said, what he was basically saying was, we don't care about the ramifications of this vaccine and how it may affect and or hurt people. We don't care. If you are, we only have, what they said, like 99.8 or something like that % of people who survive this. And I mean, not to say that people aren't dying from this. People are dying. It is a real disease. I'm not saying that this disease isn't real. It is real. But at the same time, it's not as disastrous as they're trying to make it seem like, to where the whole world is coming to a standstill. Everything needs to stop. You can't do anything. Don't go, like, what? And because of that, we need to force you to. So, and that's their way. This is the step, the first step. We have to make it seem like you can't do nothing, even though we basically caused this. Oh, the COVID vaccine. No, y'all just shut a lot of stuff down, really more so than you probably needed to. And now there's businesses, small businesses, that can't even operate, and they might not come back. It's a real chance that they ain't coming back. But yet Amazon, Costco, and all of these other, Walmart, they can still operate. They don't even need the money. And they're taking whatever little money we have left. And all of these businesses, mom and pop shops, the people that you and I know who really need it, they're already struggling as it is. You're going to shut them down, not give any kind of relief, or give one relief package. And then, so I caused it, in a sense. I caused it, but also, hey, let me be your savior. Even I know I caused it, but hey, I got what you need. Okay, this is how you fix it. You caused it. Why do I even trust you to fix it? I don't trust you to fix it. You caused this. You caused this mass hysteria, even more so than what it probably really should be. Again, I'm not saying this disease isn't dangerous. It's very dangerous. So I'm not saying don't wear your mask. I'm not saying don't wash your hands and don't wipe down and clean down. Yes, you should do that. Everybody should do that. I'm doing, because it's a real disease. But at the same time, to where you're pushing people to live in a constant state of fear, to where if you have somebody living in a constant state of fear, to be like, look, I'll take anything. I need anything to get back to normal. I got you. This is what you need. I got what you need. This is his vaccine. I got what you need. So again, if you're tuning in, please make sure you hit this like button so that way people can see this. I'm going to go back to the video.
Which has allowed us to do things in weeks to months that formerly took years, several years, and to engage in a dialogue and talk about that as opposed to just feeding it to them. The second thing is, well, how do I know that this vaccine is really safe and is really effective? Is this just some government ploy? We've been fooled before by the federal government. You gave some very cogent instances just a moment ago. Well, or is it the pharmaceutical companies that want to get rich over us? Well, we can address both of those. First of all, the determination of whether a vaccine is truly safe and effective is not made by the company indirectly, and the government doesn't see the data at all until way down the process. The data first come to a totally independent data and safety monitoring board that is made up of experienced clinicians, scientists, vaccinologists, statisticians, and ethicists. They look at the data and they independently determine if it's safe and effective. If it is, they show it to the company. The company then analyzes it and presents it to the FDA and applies for an emergency use authorization or outright approval.
Okay, I'm going to stop there because it's so much video that I could show. I will say for those who are interested, y'all should follow Reza Islam. He's on Instagram. He definitely goes into I feel like he knows way more about vaccines and the history of vaccines. Just like this person says, research it. He digs into it and he talks about, and Reza Islam is Rizza Islam, ISLAM. Follow him. He has a lot of amazing information when it comes to breaking this stuff down and what they're doing. And so, and I'm not saying completely believe him, but just listen to what he has to say, see if that resonates with your spirit, and just take that information and do with it whatever you will. But I wanted to present this because they're trying to make it seem like, oh, we have all the top people, the top scientists, vaccinologists, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, they said the same thing to the people you think they said something different to the people in the Tuskegee experiments? Did they say something different than them? Oh, but this time is different. This time is different though. Okay. What about and again in the Holocaust when they were taking people to do tests on them? You don't think they told, oh, this is to help you? They weren't helping them. We can see that clearly now. If looking back into the past, they weren't helping them. Why do we as my former guest Frank W. Johnson said, we are living in basically we're the United States of amnesia. We forget what happened, how quickly we forget the past. History tells you everything you need to know. History tells you, but yet we dismiss it, and we're just so ready for that immediate comfort that we jeopardize ourselves for the long term. So I'm not going to take this vaccine. So, and actually somebody mentioned about reason. Exactly. Listen and let's take it with a grain of salt, but do it do with that information, whatever you will. But again, research, get this information. You never know what can come out of there. So I say this stuff is dangerous. It's scary. Be careful. And I'm not saying that to put you in fear, but I'm saying that to encourage you and to motivate you, to make you aware of what's going on and what they're doing to try to attack us, to try to trick us, to try to bring us into this, to make us take these vaccines. And no, I'm not taking the vaccine. Y'all take the vaccine. You leave us out of it. And also, we need to push for our freedoms to push back against. No, I don't trust this. And also, this information, they don't talk about this. They made it impossible to sue the companies who are making the vaccine. So if something does happen to you, you can't sue. Think about that. If something happens to you, if you take this vaccine and your right leg swells up and almost about to pop, you know, my right leg hasn't been right since. What did this vaccine do to me? I want to sue somebody. I'm sorry, there's nobody you can sue because we needed to get this vaccine out, and there's nobody to sue. I'm sorry. There's not going to be any commercials. Well, have you taken the COVID-19 vaccine and do you want to sue? Did you have adverse effects? That's not going to happen because you can't sue these companies. They made it to where we are protected. If we mess you up, and we probably will, you can't sue us. You can't hold us accountable. The people in power do not want to be held accountable for what they're doing to you, me, and all of our loved ones. Again, research it. We have to protect one another. I'm putting this information out there because I care. And I want you to know what happened to me and what could potentially happen to you. And this is, like I get, a slippery slope. It's not mandatory, but they will do certain things to make it seem. Now you pushed up against the corner, you pushed up against the wall to where now you have no choice but to. Now you have no choice but to. So I just wanted to say that again. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. Thanks for everybody in the comment section that you know, put in your 2 cents. I really appreciate that. Put B1 if you know, Black communities first. If that's what you're looking out for, because we're not going to be tricked and swindled by the government, who are constantly. I mean, the devil is busy. The devil is busy, and he's working. He's trying all kind of tricks and sneaky kind of ways to get us to take this vaccine, and we have to be ready. We have to be aware and prepared. So I love y'all. Make sure that you are hitting the like button. You share this video so more people can see it. I didn't even mean to be on here this long because I haven't really eaten anything today. I need to eat. So I need to go get me some food. But if you can subscribe to the Black Boss channel, follow me, the JT Effect. You'll find me on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm on all the podcast and streaming services. You can find me on that Apple, Google, Spotify. Follow. I have other videos. Listen to those. Support me and support the Black Boss channel. We need to support Black media because this information isn't being told to us as it should. They just want you just to go along, be a sheep, and go along with the crowd until crap hits the fan, and then I'm sorry. And of course, 60 years down the line, because I've seen this happen a few times before. 60 years later, after something crazy has happened, then they release what really happened. But at that point, it's too late. Who are you going to sue? Who are you going to hold accountable? The government? Oh, we're sorry for what happened 6 years ago. Nothing you can do about it. But sorry. There was your grandparents. There was your parents. The damage is already done. So look at history and look and see what they do. And this is what they're doing. They're playing out of the same playbook. It's the same playbook because it works. Unless we cut them off at the head. We have to cut them off before they really get a chance to push us out. So again, make sure that you follow the Black Boss channel, hit that notification button so that way you can be connected to what's going on with what we have going on, because we're putting out a lot of great stuff on the Black Boss channel. Jeff Lacey Jr., he is on sports, and he is saying a lot of dope stuff on there. Not only is he talking about sports, but he's talking about politics, and he's talking about social issues. Actually, we're going to be on a video later today, so I want to see you all there for that. I can't wait to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Again, like and share this video. Follow me on the JT Effect, and y'all have a good rest of the day. Be one.